Shalom family, this is yet again your boy, Jonathan Hebrew Prince, and I'm coming to you today on a wonderful, beautiful Shabbat. I love the Shabbat. The Shabbat is a time of rest, and for those of you who don't know the Shabbat, I've said this before, but I don't mind saying it again. It's a day called the Sabbath, the seventh day of the week. It's a day where you just relax, you rest, you give the Most High His time, you reflect on your week. You reflect on yourself and you try to find out, what is it that I've done wrong this week that I could have done better? What kind of situations was I in that I shouldn't have been in? And you try to reflect on those things, and you also reflect on the positive as well. You look at it and say, wow, how the Most High has gotten me through this week, even when I was wrong, even when I did jack up, even when I didn't have the faith I was supposed to have. Even when I didn't read like I was supposed to read, when I didn't watch a certain documentary and learn and get towards my goal of what that was Most High has set out for me to do, although I may have missed some opportunity, yet and still, I'm still here. Yet and still, the Most High has still kept me to see yet again another Sabbath. So that's what the Sabbath is about. It's a day that you give the Most High, just to the Most High, His time. You're supposed to give it to him throughout the week, no doubt. I'm not one of them, we just gonna do the Sabbath and the rest of the week you just do what you want to do. No, that's far from that. But you have to work. So when you have to work, you got to provide for the family, provide for yourself, or provide for whoever's dependent upon you. That's understandable. 6 days you work, but that Sabbath day, that Sabbath, that's a set apart day in accordance with the commands of the Most High Yahuwah. You set that day apart, and that's the day that you really just reflect and you try to get into His presence. You try to exit out all the distractions, all the foolishness from around you, kind of cut off the television, turn off the radio, leave the talk shows alone, and just really try to reflect on Him. Try to get into His presence and try to get ready for the next week, because no matter what's happening, no matter what time you think it is, I'm telling you right now, that adversary is waiting, constantly busy, constantly doing what he's supposed to be doing, and that's destroying. So it is very important that on the Sabbath day, you just take that time. Be with your family, your loved ones. Show them your love. Show them that you care. Something that we definitely need to surely get back amongst humanity, and especially in the so-called black, so-called African American, the so-called Negro community, showing that love. And this is a day to do that. This is a day to reconnect, realign, refocus on the true matters at hand, on the true duty of man, and that's following the commands of the Most High, that's meditating on Him and doing right by your brother and doing right by your sister. Hallelujah. For this is the day that Yahuwah has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. For His love, His patience, His kindness, His strength, and His wisdom endures to all generations. Hallelujah. 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 Today is going to be a different day. I just want to throw some encouragement out there today. As you look on the screen, this is the individual that we're going to read about. Now, like I said before, I'm going to put out a little information here and there. And I can't put out information without sticking close to the scriptures. The reason why I stick so close to the scriptures, there's so many books that I can put on this screen. There's so many topics that we can discuss. There's so many documentaries I can show, so many articles. But before I get to that, the foundation has to be laid. And the foundation is that of the Most High Yahuwah, His precepts, His statutes, His laws, and His commands. The Bible that has been told to us is a white man's book, a so-called white man's book that don't belong to the so-called black man, a book that don't that worships slavery and is something that we're supposed to be scared of, as a taboo topic, or we supposed to be worshiping this Christ figure, and that's it. None of the rest of the scriptures matter. That couldn't be far from the truth. That is so far from the truth. It's about as far as this place is from the so-called planet of Mars in the hijacked solar system. I'm telling you that right now. That Bible that we as a people toss away or read absolutely incorrectly with the blinders of Christianity on is about you, your heritage, the so-called black, the so-called African American, the so-called Negro. That is your book. That is your heritage. Inside that book is you. The people of the book is you. I can't, man, it's just so gut wrenching when I found out who I was, who I am, and whose I am, and who my people really are, and why we are in the predicament we are in today. But before we get into that, let's just take a look at this. This is a 1720s depiction, a Russian depiction of the King David, also known as King David. This is right from Russia. This is an image that was posted coming from Russia. Very ancient. You see it 1720s. You can go look this up, find the work yourself. And this is very important for us to comprehend. Why do I have this on the screen? This is just another piece of evidence to show you who you are, who our people are. What am I trying to do? What are we supposed to be doing? I like this right here. It says, pass the truth to the next generation. Teach them early what we learn late. I'm sure some folk done seen this meme before. But this is what we are supposed to be doing. Passing to the next generation the truth. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. If you don't agree with a topic, you don't have to for it to still be the truth. Your agreement or lack thereof does not mitigate whether the topic is true or not. Your feelings, my feelings, anybody's feelings have no bearing on truth. It's simply your feelings. That's it. But we're supposed to be taken as men and passing it on to our sons and our daughters and to our queens and to our princesses. That's what we're supposed to be doing, my people. But it all comes in comprehending who we are and whose we are. So that's why I had to put up the depiction saying, look, because we're about to read today from works of King David. That's what kind of works we're going to read today. We're going to come from starting off at Tehillim, and also known as the book of Psalms, chapter 14. We're going to deal with that, and then we're going to move into Psalms 32. Feeling good this morning. So hopefully this don't be too long or too boring, but definitely got to go into it. I got to get into these scriptures today. Okay? Just for another snippet. To show you when I say that the so-called African American, the so-called Negro, the so-called black man is of the tribe of Yisrael. We are of those tribes. We are from those tribes. When I say that, that's because of works like this. Right here, we have a close-up picture of the Ashanti Priest. Look at this. This is before cameras. Look at this right here. This brother is all Negroid features, so-called Negroid features. And this is a priest. And if you look in your book, I think it's Yahushua or Joshua chapter 15, it talks about these people right here. The people of Ashan. And you will find that the people of Ashan, in accordance with the Bible, our scriptures, the so-called Old Testament that we are told not to read, you will find out the people of Ashan are from the tribe of Yehuda, also known as Judah. And look on this screen when you see Ashanti. When you see Ashanti, the T at the end means children of. And then, of course, it has Ashan. So this word Ashanti means children of Ashan, which is in Joshua chapter 15. Let's go check it out. Go check it out. It's very, very imperative that we know who we are and we know whose we are. Because it's not until we get that comprehension, my people, that we can start making some true change. But if we don't know who we are, or we don't know whose we are, then I'm gonna tell you this right now. We're gonna continue to have some problems. We are going to continue to have some issues. We have to know who we are. So with that said, I'd like to just take a quick dive into the scriptures this morning. Let's look at this scripture. Okay, we're going to start off at Tehillim, or Psalms chapter 13. And all I want to do this morning is encourage you. Now, this psalm comes from your king, my king, the so-called Negro king, King David. As I showed you that in Russia, they know the truth. Europe know the truth. The world know the truth and have depicted it in times past, before the hijack came, before the whitewashing came, before this modern historian came, and showed you that, hey, the king was melanated heavily. You see this picture with this brother right here showing you that before the hijack was able to be perpetrated to the masses, it showed you who the people of Ashanti were and how they was depicted. When you get a book called, I think it's Hebrewisms of West Africa, it definitely ties in how the individuals in Jamaica and the West Indies, how they are tied to the people of Ashanti or the Ashanti people. Puts that entire scope together. Long read, phenomenal read, lot of information. But it definitely makes that correlation between the people of Ashanti or the Ashanti people, the tribe of Judah, and the people down in the West Indies, in which I am a descendant of through my mother. So it's very important that we know who we're talking about when we look at these scriptures, and say that before we call this a so-called white man book, or this is not a book of the so-called black, the so-called African American, the so-called Negro, this is not our book, we don't need to be dealing with it no more. You throwing away your heritage. You throwing away who you are. And you throwing away your Elohim, who gave this to you to propagate to the masses. Not for the masses to tell you, but for you to tell the masses. We got to get back in alignment. So let's look at what our king said, and I hope this brings some encouragement to you this morning. I hope this brings some joy to your heart this morning. Let's take a look at it. It says, how long would you forget me, O Yahuwah? Forever? How long would you hide your face from me? How long would I take counsel in my being, grief in my heart day by day? How many of y'all feel like that this morning? How many of y'all feel like that today? Right now, we have so much going on. You got protests happening in the NFL on both sides. You got the president of the United States that has made some pretty outrageous comments. You have, it seems like no matter what progress it seems we've made, we're regressing rather quickly. We have our young men and women getting shot up in the hood. You still have the drug epidemic that they're trying to hush, that's still happening within our communities. The murder rate is climbing. Crime is on a high. The police not protecting and serving, but shooting us. There's so much going on. We got earthquakes in the south. We got hurricanes in the east. We got the country on fire through these burning fires in the west. We have so much going on. We got floods overseas that's not being talked about in different countries. We have poverty stricken across the continent of Africa. South America is looking even worse. So no matter where you go right now, it's looking very deplorable. So how many of you can feel what our king is saying? How long will I take counsel in my being, grief in my heart day by day? How long would my enemy be exalted over me? How long? This him talking to the Most High Yahuwah. For the Christians that said, don't question the Most High. Don't question God. But a king, our king, has a lot of questions that he's not asking the priest. He's not asking the preacher. He's not asking the prophet or the prophetess or the apostle or the bishop or the doctor. He's not asking any of them. He's asking the Most High. He's questioning him. How long would you forget me? Forever? He's asking that. Because right now, when you look at our condition, it seems like the Most High has truly forgotten us. It seems like we're in a condition that's cyclic and we can't get out of. We are in a condition that's deplorable. We are constantly belittled. We are marginalized. We are lied to. We are lost. That's what it looks like, doesn't it? And it looks like no hope. No matter what God we decide to serve, we still have an issue. All these churches still have an issue. All these mosque issues, temples issues. No matter where we turn, issues. We can't even make a whole bunch of money without issues. So right now we grieving, we marching, we hollering, we screaming, we making organizations, we pleading to the government. We're trying to get things passed through the Black Caucus so that they can take to Congress and fight on our behalf. But it seemed like nothing is working. Seemed like we're still in the same state. How long would my enemy be exalted over me? Look, answer me, O Yahuwah, my Elohim. Enlighten my eyes, lest I sleep in death. Lest my enemies say I have prevailed against him, lest my adversaries rejoice when I am moved. But I have trusted in your loving commitment. My heart rejoices in your what? Deliverance. I sing to Yahuwah because he has been good to me. Family, and all that we have been through, still, he is good. Through all that we are currently going through, still, he is good. Although we see the news and what's being propagated to the masses about us, he is still good. Although we are still a lost people right now trying to find out who we are and whose we are, yet he still is good. You may say, how is it that you can say he's still good? I can say he's still good because we are still here. We still have a chance. We can still turn this around. The king realized that no matter what's happening, what did he say? This is our king talking. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If my king can say this in his situation, where his enemies is coming up against him in his kingdom at the time, then I would have to go on and be able to say that I could do the same thing that my king was able to do. And what is that? Trust in the Most High Yahuwah. He says, but I have trusted in your what? Loving commitment. My heart rejoices in your deliverance. You know what that means? That means that the king knew the Most High was going to make it happen. That means that he knew the Most High was going to deliver. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Most High delivered David a whole bunch of times. So he knew it was coming. He just had to get through the grief part. He had to encourage himself. And what am I trying to do this morning, family? I'm trying to encourage you. I'm trying to encourage you so that you can have the mindset needed to pass the truth to the next generation. Keep on pressing towards that truth. Teach them early what we learned late. What have we learned late, family? What are we still learning late? I'm going to tell you what we should be learning. Very important. That we need to come back to the precepts, statutes, laws, and commands of the Most High. That no matter what we are going through, and no matter what type of solution we try to present, that if we don't come back to these laws, we don't come back to these statutes, We don't come back to the commands. We don't put away our selfish vendettas, and we don't put away our selfish ambitions, and we don't put away these idols, then we will continue to be in our state. But there's hope, family. I'm going to show you this hope. Let's go to the next chapter. Let's go to this next chapter. We're going to go to chapter 14. Now, this is also, once again, we still dealing with our king. We still dealing with our king. Where's my king at? See if I can find that pic one more time for you. We dealing with this brother right here who wrote not only 13, but he also wrote this one, 14. Right after he says what he says in 13, he opens up 14. It says, the fool has said in his heart, there is no Yahuwah. They have done corruptly. They have done an abominable deed. There is no one who does good. Yahuwah looked down from the heavens on the son of mankind to see if there's a wise one seeking Yahuwah. That's what the Most High looking for, family. He's not looking for how many degrees you can accumulate. He's not looking for how many plans you can generate for the reparations and freedom and liberties and laws for our people. He's not looking for that. He's looking to see, is there a wise one that will go after him? Is there anyone amongst the land that will say, you know what? I'm going to turn back unto my father. I'm going to turn back unto my Elohim, and I'm going to ask him for the help. Because whenever we did that, family, and I'm going to cover that coming out the book of Judges, whenever we called upon the name of the Most High Yahuwah, guess what happened? We shook the earth. We shook it. But the minute we turn, it didn't happen. What am I trying to do this morning? I'm trying to encourage you, family, to come back. I don't care what kind of knowledge you have. I don't care what kind of degree you have. I don't care what kind of books you're reading. I don't care what kind of information you're receiving. I don't care how conscious you think you are. I don't care how enlightened you think you are. I don't care what kind of notions you think you possess. If you're not coming back to the Most High, then all you're doing is addressing symptoms. You got to come back. And I'm trying to encourage my people. Come on back. Bring your knowledge with you. Bring your gnosis with you. Bring your consciousness with you. Just make sure before all that, you put the Most High in front. You got to do that. To know that we are indigenous to this land is great. Awesome. Important to know. To know that the entire world at one time was melanated from the inception of every continent, so-called continent on the face of this earth. Good to know. Gotta know. Very important to know. To know that we was kings and queens and princesses and princes and dukes. To know we was that. To know we ruled kingdoms. To know that we ruled nations. To know that we the original man. To know all of that. Phenomenal. Have to know. Important to know. Pass down the truth to the next generation. That which we learn late, teach them early. Yes. We got to know it, right? To be able to speak different languages so that you can read the different works, to get the different truths and different perspectives of truth from different lands and different people. To know that, yes, we need to know. To know the social economic situation amongst our people and the people of the world. To know that, yes, we need to know. To have a plan to say, this is how we going to come up. That's cute. That's good. I like it. I'm with it. I'm feeling you. But if we not with the Most High doing it, it is all for naught. That's why I'm encouraging you, come back to these scriptures. If you have every book in the world and you put away your Torah, you put away your Tanakh, you have thus by default put away your Elohim, then everything is for naught. That's why I come at you about these Bible. Because what did our king say? The fool has said in his heart, there is no Yahuwah. Not there is no God, like the King James. Not there is no Lord. No. There's no Yahuwah. Why is that important? Because that's the name of the Most High. There's a whole bunch of gods and Elohims, but there's only one Yahuwah. And that was our Elohim. That's who our prophet Moshe, who we ignorantly call Moses. That's who he was telling us about. That's who he was talking to. That's how he was leading us, with him in the forefront. With him in the forefront. So if we know all of these things, that's good. Bring it to the table. We need it. We have to have the information. It's going to help us psychologically. It's going to help our philosophy. It's going to tear down the theology. It's going to enhance the doctrines. Of course, it's going to propagate truth. It's going to do a lot of things for us, no doubt. It's going to shape your inner man mentally. But if that spirit is not touched, if that spirit is not put in his rightful place, which is by the Most High Yahuwah, then I'm telling you, family, it don't matter. We have done it all for naught. So I'm encouraging you this morning. Let's not be, as this scripture says, where the Most High is looking down to see a wise one. And then look at the next verse. Look what he found. He said, they have all turned aside. They have together become filthy. No one is doing good, not even one. Have all the workers of wickedness no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread and do not call on Yahuwah? Look what he said. Have all the workers of iniquities no knowledge, who eat up who? His people. Who is his people, family? That's why you can't get caught up in all this other stuff, because you are his people, the so-called black, you so-called African American, you so-called Negro. You are his people. So when you fall into this definition or into this line about turning aside, don't turn aside. Don't become filthy. And if you are, get out of it now, because you acting out of sorts, because he's looking at you as his people by genetic, by DNA, by blood. You was birthed to be his people. He said, have all the workers of wickedness no knowledge, who eat of my people as they eat bread and do not call on Yahuwah. There they are in great fear, for Yahuwah is with the generation of the righteous. Family, we got to get righteous. We got to get it. We got to get righteous. Gnosis, or knowledge, without righteousness means nothing. Gnosis without righteousness means nothing, family. We got to get right. You will put to shame the counsel of the poor, but Yahuwah is his refuge. Now listen to what the king says. And this is why I wanted to get all the way to verse number 7. It says, oh, that the deliverance of Yisrael will be given out of Zion. When Yahuwah turns back the captivity of his people, let Yaakov rejoice, let Yisrael be glad. Hallelujah. Family, the captivity will be turned back. He's going to free his people. And when he do, we will rejoice and we will be glad. But my question is, when he comes back to turn back this captivity and put everything back in his rightful place, will you be in that number, my so-called black, my so-called African-American, my so-called Negro? Will you be in that place? Because remember, there's a stipulation that was talked about in verse number 5. And look what he says. Righteous. Right here. Righteous. He wants you to be righteous. He wants you to be righteous. One of the videos I put out, it says in the scriptures that we ought to stop doing evil and learn to do good. Family, he gave us all what we needed to do to learn to be good. He gave us everything we needed. I'm encouraging you, my brothers and sisters, my family out there, and also those of other nations that choose the Most High as Yahuwah, as your Most High Elohim. Stop doing evil. Learn to do good. And I promise you, with everything in me, and I'm willing to die for this, he will turn back this captivity. He will put you back in your rightful place. And even in the midst of this captivity, even in the midst of this turmoil and all this hell that we going through, I promise you, you come back to him and you just do his commands. Do the best you can to follow his commands. I'm telling you, even in the midst of the captivity, he will allow you to be free. And that's a guarantee. I'm living proof of that. He would allow you to have that which the next man don't have. And it ain't because you so great, but it's because you are trying. And he sees that you're trying. That's all he wants from you, is that you try to do right. You try to be the way he's asked you to be. He understands the times. He comprehends what's going on. He is the Most High. But we are in this position as the people because of us. Family, it's time to stop that finger point. I say that all the time, but we are not to finger point anymore unless we're going to point within ourselves. We change ourselves, and I'm telling you, this thing will get turned back. It says it right here. Our king said it. Our king said it about the Most High. But you can't be a fool and say in your heart there is no Yahuwah. To all the Christians out there stuck in these churches, check yourself before you wreck yourself. If somebody approach you and tell you that the Most High is true and that his name is Yahuwah, don't say that's wrong. Go look it up. Go do your own due diligence. Go do your own research. Stop being closed-minded. Everybody has a name. And for us to try to generalize them to the Lord and God is foolish. And it shows a lack of respect for the Most High. Because if there's one name you should be searching to make sure you get right, should be the one who governs all. It doesn't make any sense not to try to get his name right. It doesn't make sense not to try to find out who he is. And it doesn't make sense to sit up there and just lock him in a box and say this is the only way he operates. You can't do that. That's foolishness. And that's religion at its core. Man's idea of the way the Most High is supposed to operate as opposed to spiritualism, which is the way the Most High operates in the life of man. See, when you comprehend that dynamic, then you know the Most High is bigger than all. He outweighs everything. And how he manifests to the so-called black, the so-called African American, the so-called Negro, the ancient Hebrew, the descendants thereof, he manifests to us in a certain way, and we ought to abide by his laws, period. In a discussion on that. There is a time coming, family, where things will get turned back. There's a time coming where we will be able to rejoice and be glad. And I'm encouraging you today to let you know you can be a part of that. To my so-called black, so-called African American, so-called Negro, this your heritage. This is who you are. Your king wrote this. I just showed you the Ashanti brother, a depiction of that brother. I showed you. This is not a joke. This is true right here. And it's right in your scripture. Right in your scriptures. Your king. People across the entire earth know who you are. Know who you are descendant of. I've showed you in videos past the Zondervan Bible Dictionary lets you know you ain't no African. You might have dwelt in Africa in some time, but I'm telling you, you're not an African. You are from the lineage of Shem, not Ham. Your king is David. King Shalomoth, his son, Solomon. You have a lot of pertinent people. I put it out there. When I say, brothers, it's time to stand, in all those videos, I'm showing you your ancestors. That's why I'm sticking to this book. And I'm coming from other books that was in this book at one time and was taken out. Why do you think they took them out? What do you think the reason for? Just because? No, it's the information that was in it is pertinent to you. And it will bust up a lot of lies right now. And what are we into doing? Busting up lies. Destroying them. So family, I just want to encourage you today. Let's get right. Yes, we can listen to all the different dynamics, all the different social plans and economic plans for our community. Yes, we can listen to those things and we can move forward. But I'm here to tell you, if we move forward with those plans and we not throwing out the name of the Most High and we not being righteous and we not putting those laws in front, then I'm telling you now, it's not going to come to fruition. And if it does come to fruition, it only will be for a short time. Prime example, 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma. Go look it up. We was not surviving. We was thriving. But it got destroyed overnight. The Most High is not going to allow us to get any ground without him, because we are his people. And he looked down and said, okay, y'all doing it again the wrong way. And what do we do our children when they do something the wrong way? We chastise them, whichever way you do that. And tell them to do what? Try it again. And we keep doing our children that till one day our children get it correct. They do it the way it was supposed to be done. The way you instructed them to do it, right? Well, if you are the Most High's children, nation of Yisrael, so-called African American, so-called black, so-called Negro, and you trying to do something outside of the scope of your father, what do you think the father's going to do? He's going to chastise us. Hence, current condition. But there's a way out of this chastisement. There's a way to get the plague lifted off of our people. There's a way to become the head and not the tail. There's a way where the economic plan we put in place would actually work and go forth. There is a way where abortion will stop and our young men and women will be born. There'll be a way where our women will stop being portrayed as sluts and whores, and our brothers will pull up their pants and walk like a king. There is a way where the drug epidemic can stop and be eradicated forever. There is a way where we don't have to worry about the police hurting and harming our young boys and our young girls. There is a way, family, for the so-called black family to come back in unity and reunite with each other. And there, when all of us reunite as families to rebuild our nation, and where we will go from neighborhoods to communities. There is a way where our dollar that we make will stay within the community and bounce at least 10 to 15 times within the community before it leaves. There is a way, family. There are many people right now that have many plans and constructs and knowledge and information on pushing it forward. A lot of the plans are very, very, very good and tangible. Makes a lot of sense and can actually work. And there's a way that all of this can happen and it can go forward. But it will not happen until we come back to the Most High Yahuwah. So I'm encouraging today righteousness. Regardless of the information you have, regardless of who you are in this nation, the nation of Yisrael, no matter what economic bracket you in or what condition you live in, there is a way, but the way is only going to be through the Most High Yahuwah. I love you, family, and I'm encouraging you to come back to your scriptures. Not theirs, not them, not Christians. Yours. These are yours. Go back and study your law. Go back and study your commands. Go back and study your precepts. And do not be the fool that says in their heart, there is no Yahuwah. Don't do corruptly. Let's stop doing abominable deeds, and let's do good. Let's be righteous. For when we be righteous, and he comes back to do what? For the deliverance of Yisrael. And when he comes back and he turns back the captivity of his people, then and only then we'll be able to rejoice. And Israel family will be glad. I pray y'all have a great day. I love you. Shalom.